Hello and welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Hi, and I'm Chris Costa.
So Chris, I was thinking today that we should talk about doing database backups and how important they are. What do you think?
Sure, absolutely. That's a great topic. I certainly understand and appreciate the importance of maintaining and managing a good backup set. We've seen horror stories, plenty of them, where people just aren't taking backup sets and the server crashes. They lose all their data for weeks at a time, maybe months at a time, and they just aren't able to recover it. Or on the other side, they think they're taking a good backup, but they haven't tested the procedures, they haven't tested that backup copy, and server crash. They go to restore something and it wasn't correct, something wasn't done properly, and they lose everything.
Those are good points, and we should also talk about taking those backups off-site on the chance that you have a flood in your building or you have a fire in your building and you lose the actual machines. You need to have the backup somewhere else.
Sure.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the diagram we have over here, and we can talk about some backup plans. We can look at kind of a generic plan. Of course, you should talk to your own IT professional to determine what's best for your company. But in this diagram here, we have a typical network where we have multiple workstations here, and we have these workstations connected to a SQL server. And now this is where your SQL database would be. And this is where you'd want to create a backup of the SQL server, probably on a nightly basis.
Right.
And you can use the SQL tools built right into SQL Server Management Studio is a tool to create a maintenance plan that will do the backup for you every night.
Exactly, right.
And we can take a look at that in a few minutes.
Sure.
So once you have that backup created, you then want to take that backup and copy it to another server somewhere in your network. And you can have a routine that does that for you automatically. So you're going to be creating and scheduling that backup, and then now with that on another server, you'll want to make a backup of that entire server, and you'll want to do that on some kind of removable media. That could be a tape drive or some other media that can actually physically be taken out of the building. You might even want to subscribe to a service that will let you upload that file to another location. And then you might want to even take a backup of the actual SQL server. And then again, you can take that media to another location in the case of a fire or in the case of a flood.
Exactly, right. Okay. Well, maybe we can show people how they can easily schedule and set up a maintenance plan.
Sure, we can go into SQL Server Management Studio and set up a maintenance plan.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to exit out of PowerPoint here. Okay, we're now in SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm going to delete the plan I have here and show you how to create one. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that the SQL Server agent is started. And to do that, you would right-click on SQL Server agent and make sure that this start is grayed out like it is here. If it's not, if it's in bold, you'd want to click on it and start this service. This service has to be started in order for a maintenance plan to work.
Right.
Once that's started, you can come up here to Maintenance Plans and go to the Maintenance Plan Wizard. And this wizard will help you create a maintenance plan.
Okay.
You click on Next, and the first thing you want to do is give it a name. We'll call this Enterprise 32 Daily Backup. And you can give it a description. I can give it the same Enterprise 32 Daily Backup. Now the next thing you can do is schedule that backup. You would click on the Change button here, and you can schedule this to occur how often you want. I want to have this occur daily, which is what we would recommend so that you'd never lose more than 1 day's worth of data. And you can pick a time of the day to run the backup. Say you want to do it at 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe a time when nobody would be using the database.
Right, right.
And then you can also even select a start date. I'm going to select today, state, and it would start the backup as of today. And then it will tell you at the bottom here what it's going to do. This backup is going to occur every day at 1 o'clock beginning today's date. I click OK, and then I click Next again. And here I can tell it what I want to do. There's several different things you can do in these maintenance plans, and you may want to talk to your IT professional to determine maybe what you want to do on a regular basis in addition to backing up the database.
Sure, yep.
In this case, I'm just going to choose Backup Database, and I'm going to choose Full to do a full backup every day. I'm going to click Next, Next again, and now I have to tell SQL what databases I want to back up. I'll click on this drop down and choose the Enterprise 32 database. I can choose others if I want to do them as well. Click OK. I'm going to back up to disk, and I'm going to tell it where on the disk I want to put the backup. So I click on the Add button and then the ellipsis button here. And SQL automatically has a backup folder, so I'm going to use that backup folder to put my backup in. I'm going to call this Enterprise 32 Daily Backup. That'll be the name of the backup file. Click OK and OK again. I'm going to choose in this drop down here overwrite so that it will create a brand new file each time with a full backup in it.
Okay.
I can verify the backup integrity after it's done, and then click on Next. And now SQL will also create a log file of what it does, and I can actually email that report to an email address if I want to do that. Click on Next again, and then Finish. And now my backup plan is created, and it will now run every night at 1 o'clock.
Right. Good. Yeah, and that was simple.
It's very simple.
It wasn't
yes.
that difficult. Yep. So people just need to take this seriously. You know, you have to be taking these backups, and you know the key is getting the backup off-site, somewhere off-site.
Absolutely.
And test them periodically.
Absolutely. Those are excellent points, because the last thing you want to do is lose weeks, months worth of data. Your business depends on it.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, you never know when a server's going to crash. You never know when you're going to have a fire or a flood.
Right. Exactly. So.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about today?
Well, I think that covered it.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
And I'm Chris Costa.
Please look forward to more to come.